Hey guys, my name is Kaushik and welcome back to LetCode. Today in this video we are going to learn a very small concept, that is how to handle multiple environment with multiple selectors. So already we have discussed like how to handle multiple environments with the concept of .env, right? So if you go to your package.json file, here we can see like we have like environment test, environment prod, environment dev, and we are using this cross-env and also this test underscore environment to set the environment, and we have to run our script. If you don't know about this concept, I will recommend you to watch my previous video. Okay, so here in this video we are going to learn only one particular topic, that is like how to handle multiple selectors in multiple environment. So this is my real-time scenario where I have faced this, so I'm going to share with you the same. Okay, so consider that we have two environments. Okay, so one is the staging environment. Here you can see like it's like staging, and this is my localhost. Consider this to be your dev environment. So if I go and inspect this particular name field, if I go and inspect this, here you can see like we have a ID called name, and then if I go and inspect this one, here you can see the ID is like surname. Okay, so the page is same, the functionality is going to be same, only in few places the selectors are going to get changed. Okay, if you go and see maybe some other data, for example, let's go and inspect this one, this message. Here we have like input example -20, and in this page also it is like input example -20. Okay, so most of the locators are same, but in few places this is going to get changed. So how to handle this is very simple. We can do this in three ways, actually four ways. Okay, so first of all, when we inspect this one, here we can see like the ID is getting changed, but other than that the placeholder, the class name or the label is going to be same. So we have to write a XPath in such a way that it's going to be unique. Okay, not only for ID, I'm saying like even though there is no ID, but definitely there will be some way to find the locators. And of course in Playwright we have lot of ways, right? So we can find based on the label, placeholder, the relative XPath, the location based XPath, not XPath, like the right of, below, above of, all those locators are there, right? We can make use of that as well. Okay, apart from that also we have another three ways. Let me give you. Okay, so if you take this XPath, like here / this particular XPath is basically like based on the text name, label text, and then followed by the input. Okay, so if I go and use it in this, it's going to be same. So of course we can write a unique XPath across all the environment, and that should be fine. Just in case, consider that here my label is going to change in my dev environment, and it is different in staging or prod or maybe another environment, then of course that is also going to be a pain, right? So how to handle is very simple. Let me give you an example for that. I hope you are able to understand the context. Okay, now before that, most of you ask me like we are getting undefined here, how to solve it. It's very easy actually. Multiple ways are there. One way I found is very simple. You can create a config file. Okay, so just make a like ts config.json file in the root of your project. Okay, and there we have to use something like compiler option, and then we have something like undefined, strict null check, and make it as false. And when you do that, if you go back to your test, you can see like even though this property might be null or undefined, we won't get any compile time error. Okay, but make sure that you are setting the value, or else definitely, since we do not have any compile time issue here, we'll understand that this is fine, but while executing the test it might get failed. Okay, so make sure of that. But just in case if you want to get rid of your compile time error, you can use this compiler option. Okay, and this file should be in the root of your project, don't create anywhere else. Okay, and to give you a context, within the helper folder I have created a folder called environment. Within that I have created two environment files. One is the staging, where I have given my staging URL, And another one is the dev, where I have given my local host, consider this to be a dev environment. Okay, and very simple test, just I'm going to that particular environment and I'm going to say like await base dot locator, some locator dot come on, and then followed by dot fill. Okay, so here I'm going to enter my name, let's say Kaushik. And if I go and inspect this one, so this is basically my staging environment. So here I can say like I have a ID called name, so I'm going to give this particular value. And yeah, okay, now let's go to our Playwright config file, and here you can see like within the test match I have given that particular test name, and within the report we are getting HTML, and also I'm going to make it something like, okay, let it be open, and here actually we have an option to, okay, let's not worry about it. Okay, so let's go and run this. Okay, so I'm going to bring up my terminal, and here I'm going to say the staging environment first. Okay, let's see what happens. So it loaded the staging URL and it got passed. That means it has typed the value. Okay, now instead of staging I'm going to run this in the dev. Of course it's going to fail because the locator is different. Okay, so that is the context of this video. So let it get fail first. So this is a dev environment, and here you can see like it is not typing any value. So after the timeout we will end up with an exception like timeout error. It doesn't really say like the element is not there, it says like waiting for selector, which is not there, so look at target closed. Most of the time you will see like target closed. In Selenium we get like no such element, but in Playwright this is how it behaves. Okay, now how to solve it is very simple. The first way, as I told you, like you can write the unique XPath and you can solve it. Okay, so for example let me give you that demo. So I'm going to inspect this one. So let's go to let XPath, let's go to XPath, and here I can say like this is the one. So based on the label I'm going to run this. Okay, so if I go and run this in the dev environment, it should work fine. Let's see. Okay, so it's a dev environment and it got passed. Similarly, I'm going to run in the staging environment as well. So let's see if it's working or not. Okay, so it's also worked fine. Okay, this is the one way of handling it. It's going to be very simple. Apart from this, let's say that we do not have any kind of unique XPath. So what we are going to do? Okay, so here in the dev environment we know that we have something like surname, right? So if I go to my CSS, here I can say like it has a ID called surname, and in the staging environment it has a ID called name. Okay, so if you go to the CSS you can see it has a name, right? So what can I do is I can simply add a comma here and I can give one more value. Okay, so this is like if its name is there, it's going to take that. If not, it will take the surname. Like you can give multiple commas and you can have multiple values. So let me run this in the staging environment first. So it worked, and then we are going to run the same in dev environment. This is like Playwright feature. We just can have add comma and we can give multiple locators. So if one locator has failed to match, it will go to the next, it will go to the next, like that. Okay, so here you can see like we can run our test script in both staging as well as in dev. Okay, so that is the finest thing I can say. Okay, another way is also writing the OR based XPath. Okay, so for example if I go here you can see like I have something like placeholder equal to name, let's take some other thing. Yeah, let's go with the ID itself. Okay, so here ID is unique, so latex path is not giving us, but we are going to change this. So let's say the double slash input at the rate ID equal to this value. Yeah, it should work fine, I believe. So here it's name actually. Okay, so and we can say like or at the rate ID equal to name. Okay, so here you can select it is working in the staging as well as it is working in the dev environment as well. Okay, so what we can do is we can simply say like await page dot locator the value dot fill and then followed by your test data. Okay, so when we do the same in page object model, what we can do is we can simply like within the class we can simply create a object variable. For example, let's say like this is going to be my locators, and then I can say like let it make it like const locators, and here it's going to be like my name input field colon the actual value. Okay, yeah, and here I can say like this dot that particular thing. Okay, so like locators dot name input field. Okay, when we write the same in classes, it will be like this dot locators dot name input. Okay, name input. Okay, so basically we can write the XPath based on the OR condition, or else we can go with the comma conditions. Just in case if you are not comfortable with the both and you want to separate your locators from your test file or the page objects, you can use the JSON file. So to use the JSON file, the same concept, what we can do is we can have multiple JSON file, and based on the JSON file we can do. Okay, so what you have to do is basically let's go to any of our page object model. So here pages and login page. Okay, so consider that here the name input, this is going to change and this is also going to change. Okay, so what you can do is you can simply create a folder with lots of JSON file, and based on the JSON file, so for example you can write multiple if condition, like if test environment equal to staging, you pick that same from there. Okay, like that you can do, but that will be a little bit complex I think, because when we take the JSON file, if you want to get the suggestion, code suggestion or the snippet suggestion in VS Code, then all the files, like if you're going to maintain for staging, development and prod, in all the three files you have to have the same key with the different values, then only the JSON file will work perfectly without any compile time issue. Okay, but I will not recommend you to use the JSON file, because maintaining multiple JSON file might be also hard if you have lots of elements in the page. So instead of that, what I will recommend is like when we use the page object model, you write your locators within the page itself. So for example here I can say like private, this is going to be my login page locators or elements, something like that, equal to the curly braces, and here you can give something like this is my user name field with the value and comma, then this is going to be my password element with the value. Okay, and here what you can do is simply say like use this dot the login element dot username. Similarly you can use like this dot password. Okay, so that's going to be really cool actually. So here we don't have to worry too much about the JSON file and other things. Okay, so it's going to be really easy, and here you can give your locators like based on comma separator or maybe based on the OR condition. If there are few changes in locators, for example if you take this application, here we have like 5 to 6 fields where 2 or 3 are getting changed, not everything, right? So in few places only you have to write the OR condition or the comma separated locator concept. Okay, so I hope you got the idea how to handle it. If it's helpful, do let me know in the comments. If you have any queries, do let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one very soon. Tada, bye bye. Take care.